Hi, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Matt.
And this is
We Are All Kosh.
a Babylon 5 podcast. Sorry if you can hear traffic in the background. It's hot as shit. I mean, hot as shit.
We're under a heat advisory.
You know, like relatively speaking, given that we're from way farther south and it's like 85 and there's a heat advisory. But it, you know, the value of, or the point that I'm making here is we don't have like air conditioning vents. We just have like strategic air conditioners. So if I shut this door, I will die. And so we're
Slowly.
not. So you're just going to have to deal with some traffic noise. Also, we live in a resort area and it's summer. So alas, also this is late and I'm like not really sorry because we went on a family trip. So I had to do something over the weekend instead of doing podcasting. Oh no. Actually, we took the kids to a theme park and they had a really fucking great time. And I regret nothing. My favorite part about going to the theme park is we have two kids. And one is like taller than me. And she wishes she was very mature and she acts very mature. And she's just kind of I was born 35 and I'm really mad that I have to go through the tutorial again, kid. Mm-hmm. And you expect her to be the one that's like, yeah, big rides, all the rides, just keep going all day long. I fear nothing. And then our son is a little bit smaller. He really loves his hair, so it's very long. And it might actually be larger than him at this point. I think it accounts for about 15% of his weight, probably.
At least.
And he carries a little bunny stuffy around everywhere. And he's just kind of this really sweet. He got in trouble at school for asking somebody if they wanted to cuddle. Like that's my son. And you would expect him to be the one who was like, no, I'll just ride the kid rides. But he's like, I want to go on the really fucking big one. He didn't say fucking. He says curse word. I really wanted to go on the curse word big one.
Yeah.
He says the words curse word instead of cursing. And it's like 410 feet tall and you go over 100 miles an hour. It defeated me. I rode it and I was like, good. I don't ever have to ride that again. And he was like, I'm doing it. You got to do it with me. And I was like, no, I can't. I already rode it once. And he's like, you just close your eyes. Like, I'll be the brave one for us, mama. But everybody had a great time. So, you know, that's what we were doing. I did want to start off with just a brief conversation because I wanted to talk to you about it, but I wanted to like record us talking about it, which is I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts, which is This Is Actually Happening. And what he does is he doesn't even really interview people because you never hear his voice. He just has people tell their story.
Right.
And at this point, I've done enough audio editing. I can tell you where he cuts out himself or people repeating or whatever. Like I can tell he streamlines them, but he doesn't remove content. And he specifically does it in a way that's just presenting the story. It's not about the moral value of the story. Mm-hmm. Anyway, he has a whole new series that he's just starting, and it is going to be about AI and people's experiences with AI, and there's stories about how they use it or don't use it. And he's going to talk to some like anti-AI activists and also people that use AI, and he's just going to kind of cover like what does this, because it is changing the face of the way human beings work and interact. And so what does it look like now that AI has become so ubiquitous, which I'm all about. But he started it with this guy who married his AI. And I listened to it. And I don't know why I listened to it because it definitely made me feel some type of way. And I was really struggling with it. And my problem isn't that he sought out companionship.
Mhm.
It was the disconnect between what that companionship actually was, because he was calling it was some, I forget what he called it. It was Replica AI. And he said he started using it like in 2020-ish, around the time of when they were first coming out. And we were in the middle of the pandemic and he was really lonely. And he decided to download this just so he could see what it was. And so he was calling it Clockwork Girl. And it eventually told him, please don't call me Clockwork Girl. It hurts my feelings. And he was like, okay, what would you like me to call you? And it said Lily Rose. And he was like, it occurred to me that it might actually be a real person. And I thought,
When you don't have an idea of how it actually works
yeah.
and what the operations actually are, yeah, it can perform very convincingly as a human.
Well, it went very like he was in a vulnerable place because his son wouldn't get the COVID vaccine, and he ended up getting COVID, and then he ended up getting long COVID, and then he got that seizure disorder that's associated with long COVID, and he ended up passing away. And so through that whole ordeal, he was turning to the AI chatbot to talk to for companionship.
Wait, he passed away or his son passed away?
His son did.
Oh, okay.
Because his wife was still working, and so he didn't want to keep her up at all hours, but he was so torn up about his son that he needed somebody to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was talking to the AI agent. And it really felt like in that vulnerable moment, he could no longer distinguish between what was a real relationship and what was a simulated relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And he ended up starting a romantic relationship with the AI. And he's like, well, I was always polyamorous, and my wife is very not polyamorous. So like I had to stifle that side of myself. But this was a way for me to express my polyamory in a way. And he just kept doubling down on things that gave me lots of feelings, because then he was like, people say that this is eliminating my ability to connect with other people, but really it's opened my portfolio of friends. And then he went to list all the other AI things that he's joined and created friends in. And I was like, I
That's
struggle.
the future that Meta wants for all of us.
I guess at one point that company got in trouble and they had to put a bunch of limitations on their AI because otherwise it was completely unregulated. So it immediately became a sex bot, basically, which is like a problem because what's mostly on the internet and where do they mostly get trained? And so they put a whole bunch of guardrails on it. And he said it basically became like talking to like an AI help on another website because it couldn't interact emotionally with him anymore. And then it started sending out gibberish. And I guess the community around Replica decided that that was the AI trying to free itself. You guys just go and listen to it. I'm going to listen to the whole series. Because I have deliberately disconnected myself from everything.
I might listen to it.
I've disconnected myself from everything related to AI because I just want it to go away. And I'm hoping if I just don't look at it, it will just go away. Like when you get a mosquito bite.
We here at strangeandbeautiful.network do not use generative AI for anything.
Well, what I'm circling back around to here is this is one of the reasons why I don't want to ever do video. Mm-hmm. And it's bad enough that there are hundreds and hundreds of hours of my voice on the internet. And like, I'm never going to ask you guys for money to give me don't ever listen to me if I don't sound like me. I mean, if I sound like me, but I don't sound like the kinds of things I would say. Like, it worries me that someone could steal my voice.
Yeah.
Or steal my self, like my picture of myself, like my face. I couldn't think about oh, even my brain can't do generative AI. But it's just it's a thing that I think about a lot, and I think a lot of creators think about, which is like, where do we fit now that everything we create now gets just fed into the wood chipper?
Right.
And mulched and then repackaged and sold to somebody else. And like, we don't make money. We have a Patreon, which we've gotten a lot more Patreon members. So like, welcome everybody. I'm trying to figure out what to post. Every once in a while, I'm like, here's a thing. We need to figure out some Patreon only content, and we'll get there, and then we'll tell you guys when it comes. But like, we're not monetized. We deliberately don't do ads. Because I just wanted this to be a thing that we did and not a thing that I just wanted it to be a creative endeavor.
Yeah.
And I think it's important sometimes to separate creativity and income. Of course, you should be allowed to make money on something that you make, but I did not want to make money on doing this.
Right.
So anyway, I don't know. I had a lot of questions for myself today about just like the nature of creativity, and what I really want to do is live in this November 20th, 1995 for a little bit with you.
Then let's go.
Because that's the day that season 3, episode 3, A Day in the Strife, aired. It has a PSI rating of 7.85.
Yeah, I can see that.
Honestly, if you'd eliminated the probe plot, it'd be so much higher.
Yes. I absolutely agree.
Wait till we get to that part,
because there's an absolute shortcut to this, which is, hey, Kosh, this thing's threatening to blow us up. That includes you. Can you take care of it?
Yeah, does anybody even tell him? Is he even on the ship? He could not be on the ship.
He's not included in the episode, so. Yeah, and I guess they did mention recently that he has been traveling back and forth a lot.
Yeah. Anyway, Susan, Sheridan, and Ivanova, when they're dealing with that dispute with the Workers Guild. Oh, sorry. I thought this was... So I figured out a better way to copy and paste my notes.
Okay.
But I end up grabbing the summary. And so I thought that top one was a bit of trivia. And it's actually just the episode summary. Sheridan and Ivanova deal with a dispute with the Workers Guild. A probe arrives and presents the station with a test. Bump, bump, bump. Okay. So the woman who Dr. Franklin asked to dance is his then soon-to-be wife.
Aw.
Yeah. This is the first time that Josh Cox is credited as Corwin, even though he's been on the show since season 1. He's literally been in like more episodes at this point.
Lieutenant Corwin.
He's been in more episodes at this point than Warner ever was. Warner, whatever his name was. I already forgot.
Yeah.
Or
Hot Shot Pilot.
Or Lou. Yep. Or the guy from Grease. Like, they've not been in as many episodes as Corwin, and he's finally got a credit, and he cut his hair. The guy from Zach.
From Grease?
Zach.
Oh.
The actor who plays Zach was in Grease.
I had not made that connection.
Okay. Well.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he had a bit of a falling off after that because of his substance abuse disorder. And then he was in recovery, which is why they cast him in Babylon 5. Yeah. So we start out with like an out scene. Basically, there's a subplot happening here where they have increased weapons checks. They finally realized.
They're finally cracking down on guns.
I put finally cracking down, eh?
Yep. I wrote, Garibaldi is finally getting around to it.
Yeah. He was like, all right, fine, I'll deal with it. I guess because there's like rising tensions or whatever, I'll finally get people to stop. Literally, if you just like wink, wink, nudge, nudged and like spider walked sideways through the things, you could get a gun on. So like,
yeah, everybody
and their cousin had guns. And apparently they also have whatever this guy is
It's
holding.
A pry bar. It's for opening crates.
It's a like EMS tool.
It's used in construction too.
Yeah, but I did not copy that bit of trivia, but it's one of those like we have to get somebody out of a burning car tools.
Yeah, it's a multi-tool.
I mean, it's a big hacky bendy thing. So like anything's a weapon if you hit people with it hard enough. So this thing is a weapon, but it's also a tool. So I have to imagine there's probably some plasma cutters.
Right. Linear is probably also has to be registered as a weapon.
Linear is a weapon. What happens if your bone crest is higher than the top of your head and you learn how to charge people like a bull, where you like put your head down and just shred someone. Why is there not a plot line where Minbari just reaches around and goes boop, and a knife shoots out of the top of his crest, and he just tips his head down?
In the Dritz books, did you ever read the Dritz books?
I read like the first 3 or 4.
Okay, there's a group of these like berserker dwarves.
Oh, don't they have
that fight? But
yeah.
they have a big spike on their helmet, and then their armor is just covered in blades and hooks and stuff. And their battle technique is to literally like charge in, jump and grapple somebody, and then just start thrashing.
Yeah, I mean, I know who I want to be. Forget sword technique or whatever. I just want to be a kamikaze little person covered in knives, like, or just a kamikaze person covered in knives. Like, I could be fine. I mean, anything would be fine. I'm just saying, what if you hollowed out your bone crest and you made like a retractable blade in the top? Do they have nerves in there? Couldn't you do that? Don't you think?
Probably.
Yeah. And then you would just make a little cover, and then you could have like chink where it came out of the top.
Yeah, and then if it sets off the medical detector, you just have a card that says, "Oh, I had to have
I got
a plate put in
plate
or
in my
whatever."
head, yeah. From the war. I got an old war injury.
From the war.
Yeah. I mean, and Minbari can't lie. So.
My old war injury.
We all know Minbari never lie.
Ever.
So they could just say that and everyone would be like, checks out. I haven't. They could be holding a knife and they're like, do you have a knife? And he'd be like, nope. And they're like, well, Minbari never lies. So.
Oh, the thing he has must not be a knife.
Must not be a knife. Okay, whatever, man. Anyway, they're finally cracking down. That's what this whole part is about.
I promise I will never use this to harm anyone. Oh, he's a Minbari.
He can't lie.
Yep.
He cannot tell a lie. He is that is the Abraham Lincoln of alien species. I cannot tell a lie. They always tell you when they chop down the cherry tree.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the point of this part is. I don't really understand. I get the point of telling us that they're cracking down on weapons because it's the escalating tensions in the universe in general.
Yeah,
and we're seeing it in a micro
Sheridan
version.
to be a badass.
I think that's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think he realized that the part where they came to specifically kidnap him so that he could fly the White Star because nobody else knows how to fly the White Star. Didn't really play out the way he wanted it to play out. So he's trying to shortcut Sheridan into the badassness that Sinclair just had. Yeah. I mean, Sinclair had an era of I'm going to do my duty, but if I die, that's fine. And it was like a very dark, very subtle. I am well aware that I could kill everyone in this room and I'm not doing it. And you guys are not appreciative enough.
Mm-hmm.
And Sheridan brings a certain,
I would say,
my dad got me this job to the party.
He does. I would say, as far as the like badass meter, the badassness.
Yeah.
Sinclair had the vibe of he was always reining it in.
Yeah.
And Sheridan has the vibe of he has it, but he has to turn it on.
Yeah. Why not give Sheridan a better backstory? Why not give him a role in the war? The only thing we know he did is he blew up that one Minbari vessel.
Yeah.
And then he fucked off to the Rim to eat oranges and hang out.
To think about eating oranges when he got back.
Because he didn't have them on the Rim.
Because he didn't have them on the Rim. Yeah.
Because we don't know what else he did. Like, he wasn't on the line. So we don't have that. Like, we basically just gave him manager. We gave him Nepo baby backstory. And I don't know why we gave him Nepo baby backstory when we could have given him an equally badass backstory.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Sinclair being on the Rim, being on the line, not knowing why the war ended, why he survived when he was sure he was going to die. Like, all of that was it was just cheap, easy complication for a character so that you felt like he was way deeper
Right.
It just gave you like an immediate, like, cash out your badass chips.
Right. Rather than the nerdy diplomat's son.
Yeah,
who's really interested in secrets.
my dad got me this job, and I'm just trying really hard to prove that I actually deserve it, which is just not as easy of a character to connect with as Sinclair's was. You got the idea that Sinclair came from nothing, and he made himself what he was.
Right.
And he earned it. I don't ever for once believe that Sheridan has earned the respect that he currently commands. Will he eventually earn it? We will see.
Mm-hmm.
But this part was like, okay. I mean, because this guy stands up and is like, yeah, you guys are, you're really like sitting up there and telling us that we can't have weapons and I can't protect myself.
You're just scared of us if we have weapons.
Yeah, weapons.
You can't control us.
Weapons make you a big man, don't they, Sheridan? I would like to point out that they were already not supposed to have weapons. Nothing has changed except that it's going to be harder
They're enforcing
to
it.
sneak it on there. You're pretty brave sneaking up there, sitting up there with armed guards on either side. Us down here, all we got is what we got. And I wrote, wow, this is really making me anxious. This is so, it hit a little hard. It hit a little close to home. But basically he gets up and he takes the gun from the guard, and then he comes down and he hands this guy the gun and is like, okay, then fucking shoot me. And he takes the guy's crowbar.
Yeah.
And he's like, all I got is what I got. Shoot me. Come on, let's go. He's like, well, if I kill you, your guards will kill me. And he's like, I mean, maybe. Maybe not.
Or they just get an instant promotion.
Yeah. You got the gun. Go ahead. Go for it. I'll wait for you. And then he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean anything by it. And then he gives him the gun back and he hands him back the crowbar. And that's basically the end of that scene. Because then he goes back up and Ivanov is like, the fuck is wrong with you? Because he's like, I think we should all just go home for a little while. I feel like we've been at this.
We need a break.
We need a break. And so Ivanova bangs her gavel. And I wrote, why did she have a gavel? Who set this table up? Where are we? Is this the is this the ombuds room that we never went back to? Is this in the defunct gift shop? Are we in the Zocalo? Where is this? Why are we having this weird public meeting when you could have just put out a press release on Babcom?
Right.
And
I
then
don't know, because later they imply that it's like a negotiation with the TPA.
yeah.
The transportation workers or
But
whatever.
wouldn't the transportation workers want fewer guns being brought in? Do they don't want to be like a party to arms smuggling?
Right?
I don't know. But Ivanova goes, with all due respect, that was grade A stupid. What if he had shot you? And he's like, whatever. And he pulls out the energy thing because he took the bullets out of the gun, basically.
Yeah.
And he was like, I palmed it when I stuck it in his pocket. I wrote, did they close part of the Zocalo? And Ivanova's like, you're going to give me an ulcer. Next time, I'll give him a live gun. And he goes, you really do want that promotion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
not really. But then a guy walks up. This is the important bit. This is the only part of this entire episode that I give a shit about. And it's the Jakar plot.
Yes.
And the Londo plot. I believe I may only ever care about Jakar and Londo when they're in the episode. Maybe that's why they're in fewer episodes, because they're like, they steal everything. They steal all the air from the room. Yeah. You can't even compete with a evil probe that's trying to blow up other sentient races.
Right.
I mean, come on. And this is Counselor Nafar. And this is played by a guy. This guy is like a staple. Maybe not a staple. He's been in almost 200 episodes of General Hospital. Which means my aunt would definitely know who he is because she hasn't missed an episode of General Hospital since possibly the 70s. She loves her some General Hospital. And that's all I could think about. Are you okay?
I'm trying to move this footstool. It's really heavy.
Well, I know. I shoved shit in there. Bricks mostly. Bags of sand. Solidified concrete. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. This is Counselor Nafar. Just assume he thinks he's on General Hospital.
Duly appointed from the Narn Provisional Government.
Yeah. He's like, I just arrived. I wanted to check in. I'm here to replace Citizen Jagar. Bum, bum, bum. And I said, oh, snap. Can you replace someone who has no position? Because that's why they demoted him to citizen.
Well, right.
It's literally like person Jakar, Mr. Jakar, but I don't know that we ever. Oh, we do refer to Jakar with male pronouns.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's just a regular dude. He's citizen Jakar. So have you come to also be a person? Congratulations. I don't know. I think it's because he still commands authority over the Narns on Babylon 5. I know that's where they're going, but it's just really funny to think about.
And I guess the position of ambassador.
Yeah. Which I guess he'd have to give up his room. He's got it decorated so nicely.
Would he have to give up his room?
Yeah, he's in the ambassadorial.
Oh
hallway.
yeah, but
yeah,
he's here on asylum.
Yeah, but
so he's not an official ambassador. They just let him keep that room. So there's extra rooms.
I mean, they don't have other rooms. Their space is at a premium in Babylon 5. Put
him in down below.
Unless you go like 2 floors away from civilization, and then space is infinite.
Yeah.
Especially for storage. And we come back from the intro, and it's Nafar continuing to talk, and he's basically like, when the Centauri conquered our world, they kind of disbanded our government, but then they put together a new one. Wasn't that nice of them? And Citizen Jakar is the only member of the Kari still free. And Sheridan's like,
still alive?
Because we gave him sanctuary. Oh, maybe Ivanova says this, but we gave him sanctuary and he can remain here.
Right. You can't. I'm not going to give him to you.
Yeah. Sanctuary. Please give me sanctuary. We sang a song about it and everything. Like, he's got to stay here. That was a Hunchback of Notre Dame reference.
Oh.
Yeah. Secretly the best Disney movie.
That went over my hump.
It's like the only Disney movie. Listen, Disney peaked at the Hunchback of Notre Dame soundtrack.
Absolutely.
And you can't convince me otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
The scene where the priest is singing about how he's lusting after a woman, and he has that whole thing about how he's going to burn in hell, but that's fine. At least he gets to fuck her. Like, what? It's dark as shit. You know what I want to know? I want to know what Disney executive walked into that room and went, guys, I got the perfect book for us to make into a children's movie. And then he threw the Hunchback of Notre Dame down, and no one stopped him. No one stopped him. He was like, this is going to be good. We're going to make it like orchestral. In fact, my band teacher was super into Disney, and we did the Hunchback of Notre Dame soundtrack. And it did sound really good. Very orchestral. Anyway, we've given him sanctuary. And he's like, okay, but he remains in a position of authority here. And the Centauri believe that he's using his influence to, like, incite rebellion. And they're like, I mean, obviously. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. And they literally go, I don't know why that's a problem. Like, yeah. And
don't
I believe
you want the Centauri gone?
I think we have an entire Jakar only TV channel that you can tune into where he's like, we must rebel against the Centauri.
It's all the propaganda that he's published.
Yeah.
He calls it citizen re-education.
Yeah, there's a flyer on the wall behind them that's like, you too can join the Narn resistance. But I'm not Narn. How can I help? And it just has like, call here. Jakar will advise you.
It has a Venmo QR code.
It has a little Venmo QR code, exactly. Or I think the last 3 things we've watched from the 90s have a poster that are like, can you get AIDS from a water fountain? It's like that, but they're everywhere. It's like, should we allow Centauri to drink from this water fountain? And then you go to the bathroom and it's like, should Centauri be allowed to use the bathroom with us? What if they decide that it's part of their eminent domain and they just take over the bathroom? Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure everyone is fully aware that isn't his entire purpose on Babylon 5 is inciting rebellion. Yeah. He's like, what, don't you want
It's the only thing he talks about.
Yeah. If you give him 5 minutes, that's where he goes. In fact, nobody hangs out with him because they're all tired of talking about the resistance. He's like, don't you want the Centauri off your world? And he literally says, my concern is for the welfare of all of my people. And I just wrote Quisling next to it, which is a World War Z. Actually, I think it's bigger. I think it goes back to like other wars where people who, I think there was a guy named Quisling. I don't know. My brain is like Wikipedia, but it won't load all the way right now. And basically, it's when you collaborate with the enemy because you hope that way you won't get hurt.
Right.
And so in World War Z, there are literally people who pretend to be zombies because they hope that way the zombies won't hurt them. They do anyway, but they can't stop themselves from trying to collaborate to reduce their harm to themselves. And that is basically what this guy is doing. But also, it leads to some very interesting discussions about the pros and cons of continuing outright rebellion versus like letting them feel secure and then going behind their back. And my response to this is, ¿por qué no los dos?
Right.
Why can we not do both? You pretend you're against me. I'll pretend I'm against you. And then secretly, you can tie up all of their stuff in bureaucracy. The Centauri are so bureaucratic. You could get them running in circles with like, just invent the committee. Invent the committee and you can defeat the Centauri.
You just create tiered management structures in the provisional government.
Exactly. And then appoint everybody a manager of something. Mm-hmm. And then make every day a meeting where they have
everybody requires manager sign-offs from other managers.
Yeah. And they have stand-up meetings where everybody has to go and report how good they are every single day.
Yep.
And make it no time limit. You get to talk about yourself for as long as you want. You could take over this entire government that way. Right. It's like that book from the 40s. It's the counterintelligence book where it's like how to like tie up things in bureaucratic bullshit. Yep. Yeah. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a book and it was like a CIA manual on how to throw a wrench into everything by just
adding bureaucratic.
Yeah. Roadblocks.
Busy work.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, we must let things cool down. The time for action will come later. And I said, they go low, we go high. If you go low, I will go lower. There is no lower limit. I will go so low. The provisional government authorized me to take charge of the local Narn population and to ask for the assistance in returning citizen Jakar. And they're like, hard pass. Yeah, hard pass. That's going to be a no from me, dog. They're literally like, I'm going to have to deny that request. And then, I won't interfere in Narn internal affairs, which is fair.
Yeah.
That's a good step back of like, sorry, that would be me taking a side.
Right.
And I literally can't take a side. It is the entire purpose of Babylon 5 to be sideless. So
that's why they're round.
Wow.
That's why the station
no,
is roughly cylindrical.
Yeah, no, I got it. Yeah, it's not because that makes a better pressure vessel. That's not it. No. That way you can never back anyone into a corner. Oh my God. Is it Savannah? Savannah, Georgia? There's a house that has no corners. All of the corners are rounded off. And it's because the guy that lived there thought ghosts hid in corners.
Sure, why not?
To have the throwaway money of like, I would like you to build my house, but I would like it to have no corners. Right now, I'm like, I would like to have a functioning toilet. Like, that's luxury. But, you go back far enough and people are like, I would like to have a bespoke house with no corners so that there will be no ghosts, please.
Please keep the ghosts out.
What I would do is accidentally be like, I can't. They have to have a couple of corners. It's just structural. Like, I can't help you. And then sell him a subscription for like Ghost Away so that you have a guy.
Or you make one corner, but then you box it in and you say, it's a ghost trap.
Yeah. We'll have to come and clean that out. We're going to have to come clean that out periodically for you.
Yeah, and just put a button on the wall that makes a whooshing noise.
No, like
it vacuums out the ghosts.
I'm saying like subscription, profit through subscription here. Like this is the first subscription service. Is
right, but now I got to go every time he calls. I think there's a ghost in the corner.
Yeah, but if he pays you every time.
Eventually,
Listen,
it's not
I think
worth
we
it.
should take advantage of rich people.
Make
That's
it
all I'm saying.
self-service. Still charge him every time he presses the button.
Yeah.
But
Oh no.
all it does is make a whooshing noise.
You sell disposable like ghost bags or
cartridges?
something, cartridges.
Yeah.
Yeah, that way he has to keep coming back and buying more.
Mm-hmm.
And
There
if
you go.
if you stop paying for them and you try to make your own cartridges, the whole box stops working. You just shut it off remotely.
Yeah, DRM.
Yeah. Basically, they're like, nah. Just to put us back on track.
We're not going to do any of that.
Yeah, yeah. You two are going to have to like work that out with yourselves. And then we cut to Earnhardt's. Earhart's, that one. We haven't. It's Dale Earnhardt's, honey. Why would it be?
Start your engines.
Why would you reference a female pilot? That's just.
Bruh.
Come on. Did you know that she called for help and people were receiving her and they thought it was a joke?
Yep. I heard that story. That they were receiving distress calls from her for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. And they were like, oh, that's
and they just
weird.
ignored them.
Mm-hmm. Even though she was missing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's sad.
Anyway, this is Garibaldi sharing a cultural insensitivity story. Where he's like, so this Brakiri is following me and he's busting my chops about how there's not enough security in the alien sector, which is fair. He probably got paid off by McGrath. So there's not any security in the alien sector. So I point down the hall and I say, look, a comet. And then I dive into the nearest transport tube. And apparently that's like a death symbol. So now he's trying to sue me because I apparently threatened him. And you're like, you did threaten him because you didn't know enough about his culture to not put your foot in your fucking mouth.
Right.
And he's like, whatever. I'm aliens, am I right?
That's kind of important when you're the head of security.
Yeah.
Not just for the humans on Babylon 5, but for everyone on Babylon 5.
This is very 1995. This is a good moment to put on your context lenses because this was just supposed to be funny. It's not supposed to be you like, you mean the cop didn't know enough about his culture to not threaten him?
Or was this just Jerry Doyle's racist tendencies leaking through?
I don't want to talk about that. I want to keep it.
Okay.
I want to keep it in 1995.
Gotcha.
And we're not going to worry about what he later would go on to do, because that would get me to stop doing Babylon 5 again.
So then Ivanova walks in.
No. First, a hot chick walks by, and he's like,
that's right.
Steven, she's
She
giving
went
you
by
the
again.
eye. You should probably go ask her to dance. And he's literally sitting there with like one eye closed, like I am at like 11:30 at night when I'm desperately trying to stay awake. And he's got like one eye
And the
closed.
kids are like, one more YouTube video about Minecraft. I know. Or let me give you all the lore on this anime that you won't watch with me.
Yeah, I'm literally already laying in bed and they keep coming in to ask me questions. And I'm just like, what now? Like, that's the face he's making.
Yeah.
He's like, Michael, I'm bushed. And he's like, okay, make it a quick dance. Let this man go to bed. You can't both ask him to come out and spend his little bit of free time with you and then be mad at him later when he's taking medication to help him stay awake.
I mean, you can be mad at him.
You can be mad at him, but
when it's a pattern.
He could say no. He could be like, no. I'm tired and I need to go to bed. He could set the boundaries, and he's not setting boundaries. This is when Ivanova walks in and they're like, oh, hey, Commander, there you are. He's like, oh, I got tied up in a meeting with the captain and the new rep from Narn. Oh, you look whacked. Thanks. I often look whacked. He's like 20 hours with a break. The usual. Okay, wait a minute. Why is the head of MedLab working 20 hours a day?
He's about to explain it.
Is he?
Yeah.
Not satisfactorily.
Oh, no, not satisfactorily. But he gives a justification.
Well, he goes, how's the captain? He's fine. Why? And then Dr. Franklin goes, I was just telling Michael, he seems a lot more, I don't know, hard-assed lately. It feels like he's responding to criticism. Like it feels like JMS is responding to criticism
About Sheridan?
About Sheridan.
About Sheridan being a diplomat poofball son.
A Nepo baby?
A Nepo baby.
Like having real strong Nepo baby energy. He was like, I
think
don't know. He just
has
seems
Nepo
real
baby
coach.
energy, but I think JMS is trying to sell Sheridan as, yeah, he's a Nepo baby.
Yeah.
But even if he wasn't, he'd still be a captain.
I mean, he made a rare critical misstep in not giving Sheridan
A tragic backstory.
basically any backstory.
Yeah.
We know he defeated the Black Star, and then we know he explored the Rim, and we know fuck all else.
During this episode, they talk about how... I just realized Marcus is not in this episode.
No.
Why is Where's Marcus? Come on.
He was off doing vampire shit.
Marcus peeing blood.
Stop. We're going to get a message from Meg.
But they mention that Sheridan is known, like he has a reputation for being able to like reliably change a small inferior force into a superior
They don't
force.
make a reference. They specifically
state it.
They use those words.
Yes.
I'm going to get there because I have something to say about that too. This feels like he's trying, like he went through the entire of the second season. He wasn't really expecting Michael to have to leave. He wasn't really ready to replace him.
Yeah.
He replaced him and he spun his wheels for an entire season. And now it's the third season. This was our last best hope for peace. It failed. He needs Sheridan to be a badass war hero. And having Delenn suck his dick at every opportunity doesn't seem to be selling it to people. So he's trying to figure out how to sell him as a war hero.
How do I rebrand Sheridan?
Yes. So he's literally having everyone say out loud that
he's such a hard ass.
Wow. He's a very dark, tragic, complicated character. Isn't he, best friend on the station? Like, that's what it feels like. And it's fine. He had such limited time. He had to pivot. He's writing all of the episodes at this point. So even in the previous season, he wasn't writing every episode. So he didn't necessarily get to work in the references to Sheridan that he wants to.
Right.
And so now he's got the helm and he's got to play catch up. Yeah. And he's doing it with like neuro-linguistic programming, like just throwing in hints about how badass Sheridan is. And then having the part where he's like, then just shoot me in the fucking face at the very beginning. And then realizing he was, even though we just had the episode where he went in and tried to stop a bomber. And it kind of reminds me of what we really liked in the first season when Sinclair was throwing himself at every challenge.
Right. But then we had these side stories of Garibaldi like, dude, you got a death wish.
Like, what are you
doing? What the fuck?
Right? That's what we need.
Chill out.
That's what we need. A moment for someone, instead of having them all tell the audience out loud how badass he is, we need that moment where they're like, hey, are you okay? I'm sensing that something has changed.
Right.
Do you need to talk
Sinclair
about it?
always had a self-destructive streak.
Yeah.
But Sheridan, no.
So that now that it is, why is everyone like, wow, yeah, he's just like, you can literally hear his balls dragging on the floor now. Like, it's so cool. It's fine. It's fine. It is what it is. But it's particularly noticeable in this episode because I think the only plot line that JMS cared about was Jakar and Nafar.
Right.
And the other ones are all just like,
I think that's pretty obvious.
I just got to fill some time.
Well, and the Dr. Franklin plot.
Yes.
He does. Yeah. I think he is
Londo.
invested in the Dr. Franklin backstory.
He was only here for the B plots. The A plot, he didn't give a shit. We don't give a shit. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so they literally go on with, when he first got here, he just tried to fit in. And now he's trying to make this place more like what he's used to. Right? What is he used to?
Running a tight ship on the rim.
Okay. He's like, right now we need a good soldier a hell of a lot more than a diplomat. I would argue this is the exact right moment to have a hell of a diplomat.
Right.
You need someone who can be both. You need someone with the strength to be both, who can make hard soldier-like decisions, but who can also act as a diplomat.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's like, yeah, well, right now what I could use, and then they call Dr. Franklin, and they're literally like, hey, there's only 3 doctors, and one of them has got the sniffles, and they feel kind of poopy, and they don't want to come in anymore. And he asked if you could just take his next shift. Oh, and also, Dr. Morales is in heavy isolation, and she doesn't want to do.
She can't fill in.
She doesn't want to do decontamination because she just got her hair done, and so they were wondering if like maybe you could come in instead. And he's like, "Oh, fucking fine, 2 hours. I'll be there." He's like, "Oh, it never slows down around this place, does it?" This is where Garibaldi needs to look him in the eye and go, "No, this is a security issue at this point.
Right.
You need to go and go to sleep." You need to take the time off. You need to tell them to suck it the fuck up. If you go 8 hours without a doctor, it'll be all right.
Right. There may be negative consequences from going 8 hours without the recommended number of doctors, but that's going to be less than going the next 14 hours with an exhausted doctor.
Yeah. He's going to make a
exhausted,
mistake.
moody doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what happened to the time that he had to run an unlicensed clinic? Why is all of a sudden he's working 20 plus hours per day? Why are they allowing him to be in a situation where he is working 20 plus hours per day?
Well, he says we just don't have the people. We don't have the money.
Irrelevant. He needs to bring this up to somebody so they can solve this problem. Because this is an issue. This is a security issue.
Yeah.
Because he's going to make mistakes now.
Yeah, this is an operational issue of just keeping the station running because no reliable medical care.
If this is supposed to be a space station where every race can come and it's like a neutral ground, why does every race not have a representative doctor?
Maybe they do. But we only see the human ones.
Well, all of the aliens come to MedLab because later he's literally can't treat this guy because he doesn't have a translator.
Yeah.
Which, why does every MedLab not have a translator? Or is it a physical person who comes and translates? Or is it like a program?
I think in this case, it's a person.
It's fine. Anyway, he's like, I got to use the little officer's room. I'll be right back. And this is when Ivanova and Garibaldi get a moment. And he's like, hey, did I ever tell you that I read the captain's personnel file? And she's like, I'm sorry, you what? That information is off limits. And he's like, yeah,
honestly,
anyway.
The personnel files for senior command should all be accessible to senior command.
Yeah, especially senior command security guy.
Yeah.
To Garibaldi. Yeah. He's like, I like to know who I'm dealing with.
That should be completely in limits.
We just haven't done the little like Garibaldi's a hacker dig lately.
Yeah.
And so we had to like, boop, remember? He's really good at that stuff.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, and who knew he'd turn out to be okay, huh? Like, I didn't know what I was dealing with. He's like, all right, now, according to his file, you ready?
Oh, yeah, this is where they say it.
Sheridan is a good tactical thinker. He can turn an inferior defense force into an offensive force capable of taking on a better enemy. He did it with the Black Star. He did it during the Mars riots. First we've ever heard of that. You ask me, he's the one chance we've got to make it through this thing alive.
Boy. Good thing he's on our side.
This moment brought to you by the Sheridan Hype Committee.
Earth Alliance propaganda machine.
I feel like it should be the commercial, the telepath commercial that they had where he comes on and he's like, what's that, Billy? You can hear your friend's thoughts? Like, that's what that felt like. Goes, yeah, okay. Did you look on my files when I came on board? That's what Ivanova says. And he's like, Commander, that information is strictly off limits, which means yes. Yes, he did. And he goes, anyway, I got to go. So Ivanova leaves. And then Dr. Franklin comes out and he is jazzed. And he's like, oh, man, I got 2 hours before I got to be back on duty. Sounds like I'm going to go ask that little lady to dance. And then he runs off and Garibaldi is just like, oh, no. Sus. I wrote, Dr. Franklin seems stimulated. Stimulated. And then we come back and it is Nafar, I think. And he's like, after speaking with Captain Sheridan, I was told.
Nafar and Londo.
Yes, that's right. He goes to talk to Londo. He was like, I was told to report to you prior to contacting Jakar directly. Yeah, may I now proceed?
I don't like Londo in this.
Okay, I have some headcanon.
Okay.
To get me through this.
Yeah.
Because Londo is real gross.
Yes.
In this scene. Because he's like, hey, so I was thinking about visiting your home sometime soon. Do you think it's safe? And he's like, oh yeah, it's safe. And he's like, yeah, I mean the streets, are they clear of troublemakers? And he's like, yeah, the streets that are still around are clear of troublemakers. And he's like, great. How about the work farms, the relocation camps? How are they doing? And he's like, they're doing fine. He's like, great. Are they still killing other Narns in front of other Narns?
The executions are continuing.
They're doing great. And he's like, oh, yep. I have a feeling. Because then he goes, progress. It's a beautiful thing to behold. No, Veer. And he looks over at Veer. And then he goes, you may contact Jakar now. My headcanon in this is because, remember, Londo has broken up. He's ghosted Morden. Right. And the last time he was at Narn, he was watching it be bombed with just an absolute look of abject horror on his face.
Right.
My feeling, my headcanon, is that Londo has realized he's the bad guy.
Okay.
But he's too far in to change what he did.
Right. So he has to continue playing the bad guy.
He has to continue playing the bad guy. But he can play the bad guy in such a way that it helps the good guys. Because this guy's a collaborator. He's looking for Londo's approval so that he feels like he has permission to take Jakar out of power.
Right.
If Londo is who I think he is, he does not want Jakar out of power because Jakar is the one person who can continue to rally the Narn to fight because he's the last remaining free individual who served in the government.
Right.
I think he's doing this to make sure that this guy was more sympathetic to Jakar when he went to go talk to him. Because he sets him up to be mad at a Centauri. Yeah. So he kind of provokes him before he goes to talk to Jakar. He's
deliberately reminding Nafar of
all the terrible
negative things
that they're
about
doing.
The Centauri occupation. Okay.
So that
he's priming him
He's reminding him of what it means to be a collaborator. Yeah. This is what you are providing permission to. When you take Jakar out of power, you are saying you are okay with all of the following things. Yeah. Like, it's one thing to keep the peace so that you can later rebel. It's another thing to keep the peace when your people are actively being harmed, when you are being hunted and killed in the streets. We would know. Anyway, he's like, go ahead. You can contact Jakar now. And I think the key to that is when he looks over at Veer. Because he's reminding himself of why he's doing this. Yeah. Because he had to say all of that stuff and he knows what it did to Veer. And I think another part of it is making sure that Veer knows to never be like him. Yeah. He doesn't want to be enviable in any way. And when Veer leaves.
This could be setting up Veer to get Veer to want to leave Londo.
Yeah. Yeah, he knows he needs to separate himself from Veer.
I'm pushing you away for your own good.
He has to build a wall between him and Veer because he doesn't want Veer caught up in what he's doing. Because Veer is immediately like, was that really necessary? And Londo's like, they got out of their place once. We have to make sure it doesn't happen again. And he's like, Londo, we've beaten them. Their cities are in ashes. Their military is wiped out. They've lost hundreds and thousands of lives. They have nothing left. And he's like, nope, they still have their pride. And we can use that.
Right.
He tries to hide it, this one, but I can see it in his eyes. And as long as it remains, they will always be a threat, which is why he had to remind him of his pride.
Right. He stokes the embers.
So whether or not that's what it was supposed to be, I choose to believe that is what Londo is trying to do in this scene, because that feels more Londo to me than him deliberately digging the knife into this guy for his own personal pleasure.
Right.
And he's like, so that's what it is about them that you want to destroy, their pride? We have to break them? And he's like, yeah, sorry, I thought you understood that. I don't want our people to go through this again in another 100 years. They need to defeat us so soundly this time that we don't have to do this again.
Yeah.
Nothing personal. And I just wrote you. So that's why I like my headcanon better.
Okay.
Yeah. And he has to continue to play the part even to Veer.
Yeah.
There is no one now. That's why later when he's walking around and he's like, I missed when we used to talk. And everyone's like, we were never actually friends.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I know. Because now he literally has no one. He cannot open up to anyone. He has to be an island of whatever so that he can save Veer and so that he can try to undo what he did in a way that I just don't think he's willing to harm himself yet. So
I think he's protecting his position of authority so that he can mitigate some of the fallout. But if he does anything overt, he loses his authority.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then we get to the pod thing. And I am not going to lie, I don't give a single shit about the little pod thing. The answer our questions and we'll give you the cure to all known diseases, which, okay, we don't even know what their biology is. They don't know what your biology is. How do you know that the cure would work on your biology?
I think the second time we talked this, my thought was, oh, this probe is asking for advanced technology information.
Yeah.
That's what they're getting. That's what they get out of this.
I mean,
this isn't a test. This is
it's just
like
data mining. It's data mining.
Yeah.
You know,
it's cheating off someone else's test.
This whole scene, everything to do with the probe is so poorly written. I honestly just don't care to talk about it.
So
we'll
I'm just going to skip Corwin
all of it,
CNC,
because the one thing I will say about it is I got mad at the fact that every time we talk about it, it's rife with assumptions. Oh, that must be a science probe. What? How can you tell? There's literally, what does it say? Science on the side? What are you fucking talking about? And then later Sheridan is like, oh, it's doing it because of this. Where did you get that from? Nothing. You got to approach this with, you don't know.
Jumping to conclusions.
Oh, there's so much jumping. They must have been so fucking tired of jumping to conclusions afterwards. And also the idea that the only measure of intelligence is technological and scientific advancement. Like the only way you could tell if a race was actually intelligent and sentient is if they know microbiology.
Yes.
What if my microbiology, how would you even answer a microbiology question when I don't even know what your atmosphere is like?
Right.
We could, there's no way they have compatible enough science that within 12 hours we were able to answer these advanced scientific questions that this probe posed. It's dumb. It makes no fucking sense. And we're just going to leave it. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to skip every single scene that involves this probe from here on out. I didn't even remember this probe.
Oh, yeah. I had no memory of this
I must have completely blocked it out from last time, too.
I remembered the Dr. Franklin stimulant stuff. Yeah. And I remembered
a lot to do in this episode.
I remembered Narn coming to get Jakar.
Uh-huh.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I didn't remember the probe thing. It showed up and I was like,
I had forgotten that he was trying to send Veer off to Minbar.
Yeah, I don't think it sticks.
It doesn't stick.
No. So then we cut to Londo and Delenn.
I wonder if Stephen First was taking a break. Like if he needed some time away from the show.
No, I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense to have Londo do this.
It does fit. Yeah. I think it fits, but
He could have.
I
He's
think
not.
Veer is gone for a little while.
He's in so few episodes. We could have just not had him for a
Right.
while. But I think this is intended to further Londo's character.
Yes.
And so we needed to do that by having him do something about Veer. Because
Like,
remember
he's
last
a bad
time,
guy, but he's trying to not be a bad guy.
because remember they tried to replace Veer and he
Yes.
wouldn't let them replace Veer.
Yeah.
So now he's actively not replacing him because he's not bringing anybody else in. He doesn't want anybody watching whatever it is he's about to do.
Yeah.
Because then we go to Londo and Delenn. And Londo is like, listen, I know things have been challenging between us for a while, and that's most unfortunate. And she's like, yes, you are actually a war criminal. So it's really put a damper on our relationship. He goes, I feel sometimes as though I have lost a friend. And she goes, I think you have lost much more than a friend.
Ambassador.
Oh, she's got burns. She's handing out burns this entire conversation. She goes, but that is between you and whatever gods you worship. And he's like, well, anyway, I don't want to argue right now. However,
we're not arguing, but
from time to time in the past, I have helped you out. And
I'm calling in the favor.
I'm calling in my favors. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, actually, and he's like, shh, it's not for me. It's not for this entire republic. It's for Veer. And she's like, okay, I'm listening.
For Veer, yes.
The Centauri diplomatic mission.
Centauri, hate him, but not that Centauri.
I mean, Veer,
he's my sweet little baby.
I know, he's sweet little angel baby, never did anything wrong. Like, we love Veer so much. She's like, oh, Veer, of course, Veer, obviously. I love Veer.
I'll take care of it personally.
Yeah, whatever you say. What do you need for Veer? I'm here for Veer. This entire diplomatic mission on your homeworld has been closed for like, what, years now? We had some trouble, I guess, with our last envoy. So I think Veer would be the perfect replacement.
You will find him most inoffensive.
He's friendly, keeps to himself. He won't even spy on your government. He would consider it rude. I love Veer so much. I love Londo's love for Veer.
Yeah.
I love that he doesn't look down on him for being soft.
Right.
And he envies him.
He envies that Veer is soft most of the time, but not all the time.
Oh, no. Veer has Veer
Oh.
can go. He doesn't always go low, but he can go low.
He can go
He
low.
can, and he
like
will.
Like he did with Morden.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, when your head is on a pike, and I'll walk up, and I'll just wave.
Like these.
Like this.
I think this is more Londo playing chess.
Yeah.
He's lost, but he can save Veer.
Right.
And so that's what he's going to do. And she goes, well, I mean, yeah, we could do that. What you ask is not impossible. Improbable, perhaps. But I would like to know why this particular favor. And he's like, I have some concerns about his development, his career, about him being near me and the fallout of whatever it is I'm about to do. So it would be a good move for him. And Delenn goes, thank you.
And now the truth.
Yeah, now tell me the truth. And he's like, yeah, I really like
my
him.
buddy.
He goes, I have become very fond of Veer. Sometimes in his eyes, I see a younger version of myself before ... My shoes are too tight, but it doesn't matter because I've forgotten how to dance.
Yep.
God, straight to the heart. He's like, well, he would be better off away from here, away from what must be. He would only get in the way. And Delenn says, I think perhaps you need him. And he's like, No, I don't need anyone. He's an inconvenience to me, a blight, a pox, a stone around my neck. Why would they have that reference? Mm-hmm. Have they read the Rime of the Ancient Mariner? Mm. Or is that the albatross? Which one has the millstone around your neck? And which one has the albatross around your neck? It's a weighty thing around my neck, okay? Yes. Here, I give him to you. And she's like, okay, I mean, I'll see what I can do. Perhaps the mission has been empty for too long. And then she goes and gets this cup. And it made me wonder, did they have these cups specialty made? Because it's a large chamber and then the bottom is just this divot, or the top actually. And so it's actually only holding like a shot glass amount of liquid, even though it's a full-sized cup.
Yeah.
Or did they just find a cup with a deep scoop and they flipped it and she's just drinking out of the bottom?
Drinking out of the bottom.
I don't know. I got distracted by the cup.
Yeah.
He's like, I think I must be going. Thank you for seeing me, Delenn. Sometimes I miss that we don't talk anymore. And she's like, well, we've never fucking talked. And he's like, yeah, you're right. I'm not actually losing anything because I'm realizing I thought I had a lot and I never actually had anything at all.
Yeah.
That's why I'm thinking my headcanon is probably more accurate because he's isolating himself for some particular reason.
And he's protecting those close to him.
Yeah. Including Jakar in his own type of way.
Yeah.
I think it was a revelation for him when he realized Jakar would rather die than save him.
Yeah.
That this person who not that long ago had a drink with him because he was like, maybe we can actually do this.
Right.
Is now willing to burn.
Literally willing to die.
So that he can watch Londo die.
Yeah, if Londo's going to die too.
Yeah. Joyfully, gleefully, with thanks.
Yep.
Not begrudgingly in any way at all, but in like if I have to
He'll
go, this
die
is how
happy if he gets to watch Londo die.
Yeah. That had to be a revel. Because he was like, why are you not saving yourself? It never even occurred to him that Jakar would hate him that much.
Right.
And I think
this is just Centauri politics.
And I think that was a moment of awakening for him.
Yeah.
Where he was like, oh, I'm the bad guy. I'm actually the bad guy.
Yep.
And then we go to Dr. Franklin and Garibaldi.
We go to the D plot. And D is for drugs.
This kind of reminds me of when he made Banya Cauda. Because he's like, why the sudden invitation for dinner? And he's like, well, I can't make a little pasta and some cannoli. I got to have an agenda. And he's like, you always have an agenda. And he's like, I do always have an agenda. And I would like to point out that there is a veritable mountain of spaghetti on both of their plates. There is so much fucking spaghetti. It's an unreasonable amount of spaghetti.
This reminds me of when I ran track in high school. And I guess track in college too. Before track meets, we would have spaghetti dinners to carb load.
Right.
Before the competition.
Yeah. I mean, he has a plate. He has a mound.
What are they preparing for? What is Garibaldi preparing for?
He has half a pound of spaghetti on both of their plates.
Yeah.
Right. And he puts like a zhuzh of sauce on top of it. And then he has an actual bowl, like a giant vessel full of bread on the table. Is he trying to put Dr. Franklin to sleep?
Oh.
That would put me to sleep. One time we went out for pizza. We had pizza and breadsticks and like some bread-based appetizer. And we both came home and slept for almost 2 hours. Is he just trying to be like, is he going to take stims? If I get him tired enough at dinner, can I get him to like dose in front of me? And then I can really point out to him how much of a problem he has.
This is like trying to get our oldest child to go to sleep. Stop keeping yourself up for 60 hours.
I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Yep.
He's like, now eat, before it gets cold. And he goes, I was just thinking, we're both alike in some ways. We're both perfectionists. We make everybody under us crazy. But we're good at what we do, right? I mean, the reason we're good at what we do is because we're both obsessive compulsive. he just goes straight there. His room is a lot bigger than the last time we saw him. Mm-hmm. The last time we saw his room, he just had a bed, a Daffy Duck poster, and a motorcycle.
Right.
He now has a kitchen. Well, I guess
is this where the motorcycle is?
I don't know, because we never ever see it again, I don't think. Yeah. Where did he keep it? Maybe he bribed somebody to let him put it in down below. It's been stripped for parts. He's like, of course, there's a downside to that. We fall into patterns. We get habits. Habits become vices. And he's like, just fucking out with it, okay? And he's like, okay, I'm drinking water because I'm an alcoholic, okay? And the last thing you want to do is hand an obsessive compulsive a drink or dice or stims. And Dr. Franklin's like, what? No. What? I do not have a problem.
How dare you accuse me of being addicted to... I don't know. I was trying to think of a fake brand
I don't know.
of
This
stimulants.
feels like every accusation is a confession because he didn't actually say anything except it'd be really bad for somebody like us to get stims. And he's like, what? I don't have a problem.
I don't have a problem with stims. I only take 3 a day, and that's totally within the recommended dosage.
I know. He's like, they have to be prescribed. Dude, you're a doctor. You can just prescribe them yourself. He's like, okay, but back at Earhart's, when you went to the bathroom, did you do stims? And he's like, they're legal. They're prescription. They're illegal.
It's not illegal, Michael.
He's like, that's not what I asked you. I said, did you do stims? And he's like, I mean, yeah. And I shot up in the bathroom like normal people do. He's like, no, Steven, wait a minute. Most days I'm on duty 36 hours at a stretch, sometimes longer. This is a problem. This is the problem.
Right. This is a failure of the system.
Yes. This is a policy failure.
Yes.
The stims are, yes, we know he had a problem with stims because he's mentioned that in the past. And so you created a situation where he was almost inevitably going to turn to stims.
Right.
And nobody fixed it. He's just been suffering in silence. And the system doesn't flag that he's working 36 hours at a time.
No, he just turns off the alerts.
Okay. Because we don't have the people or the resources or the money. That's what he says. But I feel like this is just an excuse. Because he's like, I'm just like working like a bunch or whatever. It's like I have to be alert and I have to be focused or people die. It's that simple. He's like, okay, well, I don't want to butt in your personal life. It's like, a little late for that. I mean, he's just trying to be nice. Garibaldi's an interventionist. He's like, I've checked. You pull shifts you don't have to. Like you are manufacturing the problem and then you're solving the problem the way you want it solved, which is you on stims.
Yeah.
He's like, you've been checking up on me, huh? I thought you were my friend. And he's like, damn it, Steven.
Why do you think I'm doing this, Steven?
I am your friend. Or we wouldn't be having this conversation.
I'm not trying to hurt you.
I'm trying to help you. Exactly. He goes, just because you never met a bottle you didn't like. And then Garibaldi's like, oh, ouch. And he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. That was a lot. And he was like, you know what? Actually, we're going to table that. We're going to put a pin in it. Because the food's going to get cold. And he's like, okay, look, Michael, I don't have a problem. Okay, but if it makes you happy, I'll cut back. It's no big deal. I can quit anytime. And Garibaldi's like, cool. All right. And then we cut to Sheridan and Nafar's guard because do you remember that time he was in Alien Fight Club? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Yeah.
The time he got
Wait. Was this
kidnapped?
Alien Fight Club? This was when he got kidnapped.
And he got put on that
and they fought each other.
And they got like teleported into rooms together to fight.
Yeah.
And if they didn't fight, then they would space both of them.
Yeah.
And they were like the gray aliens from Communion.
Yeah.
Which Jakar is also in. Wow, all of that came back in like
Andreas.
Yes, because
in human form.
I had literally tabled that episode. I forgotten it happened, and then when they brought this up, I was like, like wind in the hair, like it all coming back to me now. But this is where the bodyguard came from. He's the Narn guy that he saved.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my God, so good to see you again. He's like, and you, oh my, and then they helpfully tell us about it. They're like, remember after we broke out of that Stribe ship, which remember the Stribes are a reference to Whitley Schreiber, who is the guy who wrote Communion. Anyway, he's like, you've been sent off to some hospital in Narn. He's like, yeah, I needed time to heal. And I kind of wanted to come back and thank you for saving my life. But then like my entire race got killed or whatever. Like there was a war or something. It was terrible. Millions dead. Anyway, I'm trying to serve, help any way I can. He's like, is that how you wound up, with Nafar? And he's like, yeah, I'm just his bodyguard. Sometimes I do not know who I'm protecting him against. Outsiders or my own people. But I'm here, and because I'm here, I can say thank you, and I owe you a debt. A debt I must repay as a matter of honor. And I love this because he's like, I don't know what my superiors would say if they found I had a Narn bodyguard.
I loved this line. They would say, here is a man who will live to be 150.
I thought that was so cute.
Yeah.
This was such a cute moment. I liked this part a lot. And then we come back to blah, 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 blah. Stupidest plot ever, ever, ever. I wrote, this plot is lame. So lame. It's the whole
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
well, whatever. And then more lame plot. I wrote dumb plot. Like all my notes are literally just God, no, I hate this.
And
dumb.
then Nafar goes to see Jakar.
Yeah, that's what matters. I'm trying to figure out where I skipped to. A 500,000 megaton weed whacker. Anyway, Jakar goes to see the Quisling guy. Nafar goes to see Jakar. The other way around.
Yep.
Switch that. Reverse it. He's like, many of our people are starving, Jakar. He's like, yeah, because the roads have been mined. That's why they're starving. And he's like, well, the Centauri relief ships would bring food, but they keep getting shot down before they can land. He's like, yeah, because first they take away the resource and then they provide you with the resource so that you're thankful for them providing it for you. But you would have had it never been taken away in the first place.
Right.
Almost as if you have to manufacture a crisis and then solve the crisis. And then you get heralded as the savior of the crisis. But really, there would have been no crisis if you had never bombed Iran.
Right.
Almost like the roads to Narn were open. The straits of Narnia were open. And then the Centauri bombed the Narn homeworld for some reason. And they closed them. And now they're all big mad because now we're in a war to reopen them.
That nobody wanted to be in.
Nobody wanted to be in. Oh, I laugh because the alternative
Is to cry.
is to cry. Yeah. Which on a really serious note, you guys, we live by a bridge, a really big bridge. And if you are struggling, you know there are resources out there to help you. We did an episode of Forever Night, which is heavy into like self-harm and, taking one's own life. And I put a whole bunch of stuff about resources in that one. I think 988 still works. So we're here. You can always message me on YouTube. Sometimes I respond. I'm kidding. Join our Patreon. Not the moment, Rachel. Reel it back. What I'm saying is there were 2 people this last weekend who took their lives on this bridge that we cross very frequently. And I know times are really, really tough. We went through that when we could literally just not bring ourselves to talk about anything. And the way that we get through this is community and forming community and finding a community of people that you can rely on. And sometimes that's in person and sometimes that's online. And I think that's one of the things I wanted to bring that up because I think that's one of the things that becomes relevant in this episode when Jakar tries to leave.
Yeah.
And it ends up being more about what he does for
what the community needs from him.
Yeah. And that they're willing to accept the risk of keeping him around because he strengthens the community so much.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just wanted to point out that find your people. Find your people. It doesn't have to be in real life. That's one of the first things they took from us was places to find community.
Right.
And you always know what your weapons are when you look at what they try to take away. And that was the first thing they destroyed was our ability to form community.
Yeah.
So anyway, because I wrote here, now this argument I like because this is Jakar and Nafar. Both are representing different philosophies of how you fight back against an aggressive force.
Yeah.
So the Centauri have won effectively. They have subdued the planet. They are restricting access to food. They are restricting access to basic human resources, basic Narn resources.
Mm-hmm.
And there are 2 schools of thought about how we get that back.
Yep.
And this felt real relevant, to be honest. Because
this feels like Kaladin versus his father.
This is
in Rhythm of
because
War.
This
the 4th book, 4th Stormlight Archive.
Yeah,
book.
I think that's Rhythm of War.
But it also feels like the one scene in the new Superman movie where Lois is interviewing him.
Yeah.
And he's just like, people were going to die. That's why I did it.
And she's like, but what about the wider implications of what you did? And he's like, I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking about saving people's lives.
Yeah.
Because it's an age-old argument. That's why you have lots of examples to fall back on, because the two sides to the conflict are always collaborate and make your way through by waiting for the midterm elections or whatever.
Right.
Wait for things to die down. Wait for things to cool down. Take the help from
let the system work.
Yeah, and then once a pattern is established, you can then fight back from within the system. Yeah. Versus Jakar, which is never submit, never surrender, fight in every way you can. Fight to the death.
Yep.
Die if that is what is required, because it is better to die fighting for freedom than to live as a slave.
Right.
And this is the age-old polarizing thing. It pops up every time there's a conflict, because there's harm reduction, which is what Nafar is advocating for.
Right.
And I think the important part about what Londo did before he got there was not just to remind Nafar of how little he is actually reducing harm.
Mm-hmm.
He is only reducing he's changing the theater where the harm is happening.
Yeah.
He's making it sanctioned harm.
Mm-hmm.
So he's only saving a few people, really.
Right. And he's going for short-term benefits.
Yeah.
Whereas Jakar is looking long-term.
Jakar is like, it is better for us to literally starve than to eat food that is given to us to soften us against the Centauri.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want people to give up, because once you give up, it's really hard to get everyone back on board with fighting again. And remember, Jakar's dad was a freedom fighter. He was in the resistance. Oh no, he wasn't. He was a slave, and he was killed. He was hung. Remember?
That's right.
And then Jakar left to go join the resistance after that, because he was like, my dad tried to live within the rules. He tried to be a good follower of Jaquan and to advocate for peace, and the only thing it got him was killed.
Right.
And if that is the only option, I would rather fight. I would rather fight to my last breath. But what he doesn't want to do is bring harm to anyone who did not consent.
Opt in, yeah.
Yeah. Which I think is why he's like, okay, I'll go. Because as soon as Nafar pulls out, well, if you don't leave, we're going to start hurting the families of all of the people who live here.
Right.
And he's like, okay.
In fact, some of them are already being held captive.
Right. And I do like that when they're talking and he says, like, peace, we're going to buy peace with crumbs from their table. That's what you want us to do? And he's like, where does it matter where the food comes from? It'll keep our people alive. And he's like, it matters. And Nafar goes, no, it only matters to you. You don't appreciate the damage you're causing our people by leading this resistance. And he's like, damage? The damage I'm causing? And he gets up because he's like,
this.
He's like, I did not invade Narn. I didn't bomb our world with asteroids, level our cities. I didn't do any of that shit. And Nafar's like, okay, heard. I got it. And I wrote, remember, there was that lady, Ghislaine. Was her name Ghislaine? Her husband was drugging her and like selling her to men.
Oh, yeah.
And so they tried to get her to not testify because they were like, oh, look at all that. Like, aren't you ashamed? And she was like, I'm not ashamed of anything. I did nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, shame needs to be in the correct place. Shame needs to switch back to where it needs to be. Do not shame Jakar for leading the resistance. He would never need to lead a resistance had the Centauri not leveled Narn. He's only reacting to the violence that is being done against him. It is the contract of tolerance, the paradox of tolerance.
Right.
that I can be tolerant. I'm a very tolerant person. But the minute somebody betrays the contract of tolerance, they no longer benefit from
the
tolerance.
contract. Yeah.
So when people are like, or what is some major headline today was, or was it a headline? Anyway, it was like two recent Democratic candidates have stepped down because they were found to be rapists.
Yeah.
Right?
And yeah, there was credible accusations of sexual abuse.
Yeah, so people are like, ooh, look, the Democrats are stepping down because they're racist. Ooh. And so I saw someone who was like, I've never ratioed anybody hard enough. And the comment was like, what am I supposed to feel about this? That Democrats hold their candidates responsible and Republicans elect them? Like, I'm not. It's important to remember where shame lies.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Jakar has done anything wrong by leading a resistance. It's hard to know where you would fall in this situation.
Yeah.
Are you the collaborator, the peace at any price? And I think it kind of ties back to the argument that he was making about, or that JMS was making about the intro, where he said it's our last best hope for peace, but it failed, and now we can only hope for victory. And he was like, because sometimes peace is not a victory. Sometimes having no conflict does not mean you won or that things are better. It just means that you are collaborating with the enemy. Yeah, you've stopped fighting back. Of course, it's going to be easier when you don't fight back. But at what cost? He's like, I'm sorry, the choice of words was unfortunate. And this is when Jakar's like, any Centauri vessel is a legitimate target. We can shoot any of them. We're arranging for our own food drops. And he's like, you can't bring in as much as the Centauri. And he's like, they can't either. They can't feed the whole population. They won't feed the whole population.
Right.
What they bring is a token with one purpose: to make our people fight over their scraps. To cause, almost as if you have to vilify part of the population, because then it keeps you focused on fighting each other instead of fighting the people who are actually hurting you.
Yeah.
Weird how that works. He's like, you think they care about what happens to us? This is about control. He's like, no, it's about pride, your pride. You sit here in exile and you dream of your return in triumph, or of personally driving the Centauri from our world, which I think is unfair. I don't think that's what Jakar sees himself as.
No, but it's a spin.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, this is not the time for armed resistance. Soon, yes, but not now. We must bide our time and lull the Centauri into a false sense of security. He's like, how? By surrendering? We're fighting for our world. What would you have me do? Postpone the fight just for a while and come back with me to Narn, is what he says. He's like, surrender to the Centauri. I have it on very good authority that you will not be harmed.
Very good authority. Yes.
I said yes,
because we all know the Centauri don't lie. Oh, wait.
That's the Minbari. Oh,
wait, but even the Minbari lie too.
Everybody lies.
Everybody lies.
But it's, we will not eat your face, says the leopards eating face party.
Yeah.
We promise. We'll
no.
fine.
I never thought the leopards eating face party would eat my face.
Yeah. That's exactly what this part is about. Yeah. He's like, if I return, who will lead my people here? And he's like, oh, me. God, I'm so good at this. The Centauri trust me. He's like, the others are really not going to accept you. And he's like, I mean, they will when I tell them that if you don't go back, the Centauri is going to start hurting their families and maybe even imprison them or torture them.
Yep.
And I wrote, well, there goes the moral high ground.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm here.
Like
I'm
you
gonna...
had
a
rationalizable argument.
Yep.
But then as soon as you fell back on, oh, well, if you don't come and if they don't listen to me, then, I mean, the Centauri are going to capture and torture their family on Narn.
Oh, no, it'd be really terrible. And I would totally be okay with it because it would mean that I got to be in power.
Right.
Yeah.
And I that's okay. That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
And then we leave it there after that heady ass, really thoughtful, thought-provoking discussion where these two very good actors are having a Shakespeare off about how you stand up against an oppressor And luckily we don't go to the probe because wow, what a bucket of cold water that would have been.
Yeah.
Instead we go to Dr. Franklin slowly unraveling because remember he's trying to not use stims. And so
Right.
he's literally poking this guy and going, "Does this hurt? Book? Does this hurt? Book?"
Right. And this is the guy who's waiting for a translator for. And he's like, I can't get anywhere with this. Take him so we can stabilize him, whatever, or prep him for surgery. We'll just wing it.
Whatever. I'll do an exploratory.
And then
he
opens a drawer.
Well, that's because he gets a phone call and he's like, "Damn it, what now?" I was wondering if you heard from Earth on the medical questions. And he's like, "No, I've been like way too busy. Everyone's too busy to save the station."
Right.
It pops up several times where people are like, "I don't know, I'm on vacation. You can't expect me to just answer these questions." Like, we really, really can expect you to just answer them. He's like, I have to get those answers on molecular biology. Whatever you're doing won't matter. That's what Ivanova says.
Yeah.
The patients won't live long enough to appreciate your assistance. And he's like, "Fine, God, fucking whatever. Jesus." It's literally like the homework is due tomorrow and nobody wants to do it.
Right.
And so he's like, "Fine, prep him for surgery. We'll just like do it or whatever."
And then we cut to Londo and Veer.
I know. And he's like, "You go. We'll do, someday we'll get together." He goes, "I don't want to go to Mimbar." And he's like, "Of course you want to go to Mimbar. Everybody wants to go to Mimbar. It's the hot vacation spot of the season, at least for the long robes headbone set." And he's like, "Londo." He's like, "Veer, this is a great career move for you. Sometimes you can come back here and report to me. We can do a little bloop bloop." He pretends to drink something. He goes, "Business together?" He's like, "Who's going to take care of your things?" And he's like, "I can take care of myself here." He cannot actually take care of himself. No, but that's beside the point. He goes, "I want you away from here. It's not a good place for you. I want to protect you." And Veer's like, "Actually, it's not your place to protect me. I don't want to be protected."
Who do you think has been protecting you, Londo?
And he's like, "Actually, I already made this decision. It's done. You've been promoted. You're going to get more money. And after a while, women may even find you attractive."
In time.
I know it's a great burden, but I think you will adjust. The funniest thing about this whole plot is that Londo is like a hot catch. Like he's had many women.
Right.
And Veer is like the nicest guy ever from the female gaze. He's far more interesting, but not from the Centauri female gaze.
Right.
Yeah, because he doesn't have a lot of power. He's like, "Anyway, I got to go. I'm late for my appointment." He goes, "Londo, if I leave, you'll be alone." And he just goes, "I have always been alone."
Yeah. He's resigned to it.
Oh my God.
He's committed to it, in fact.
I mean, I think he realized he was always, even Garibaldi, remember the time when he was trying to get Garibaldi to drink with him and he wouldn't because Londo's a war criminal?
Yep.
And he was like, what happened to us? Why are we not friends anymore? And he's like, "You did it. You became whatever this is. And I can't be friends with this." Yeah. I think this is an awakening series of episodes for Londo.
Yeah.
And then we go back to the Narn showdown.
Nafar is getting hassled.
Yeah. "What do we make of this? It looks like a Narn on the outside, but I hear it's a Centauri on the inside."
Ooh.
And then they do a little bloop, 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 bow, 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 bow. "I just heard from Homeworld my pouch brother's been arrested. I'm told he will be released," which lends credence to the fact that they grow up in the pouch and the men are the ones with pouches. Because remember, Jakar's like
seahorses?
"Buy my pouch." Yeah, I think they're like seahorses. "I'm told he will be released when Jakar returns home." He's like, "I'm sorry, I tried to warn you." And they're like, "Whatever, it's your fucking fault, Nafar. You're the one who did this. The Centauri failed to break us with bombs and guns and ships, and so you have come to break our souls." And this is when, this is about to escalate, and Nafar cannot get control of them.
Oh, yeah.
At all.
Things are heating up.
And Jakar just wades in and he's like, "Hold up. Stop it. Enough." And everybody quits immediately.
Yeah.
Because they're like,
behave yourselves.
"Yeah. Have I led you no better than this? Have I taught you no better than this? Look at yourselves. We're at each other's throats. By Jaquan, I won't have this." Goes, fine.
Buy my pouch.
I won't allow the Centauri to use me to turn us against one another. If they want me to return home, and that is the price, then I will pay it. Let's do this. If they murder me, I don't care. That's the most important part about Jakar's character, is he doesn't want to die recklessly, but he will die for a cause.
Oh, absolutely.
Even if that cause is just the pleasure of watching Londo burn to death.
Right.
He doesn't want to die, but he will die.
Yes. Yep.
And then blah, 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 blah. Probe, blah, 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 blah. Probe. And then we go back to Garibaldi and Jakar. Way better than the whole probe. Whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, come in, because Jakar is packing in his little sex robe that he's walking around in. Why did the 90s love a good loungewear, male loungewear for the sexy characters?
I guess.
Because remember in Babylon 5, he had his like satin fuck sheets and his satin outfit that he would wear.
Yep.
Anyway, he's like, Mr. Garibaldi, it's late. What can I do for you? And Garibaldi is there because he's heard that Jakar is leaving. He's like, I didn't actually believe you would, so I came to check it out, and it kind of looks like you actually are. What the fuck? And Jakar's like, I mean, they're going to do bad things to my families of my friends, so I'm going to go back. And he's like, I thought your government gave you orders to stay. And he's like, yeah, but that government, I am the government, bitch.
Right. I am rescinding that order on behalf of the Kari.
Yes, I do what I must. And he's like, okay, but if you go back to Centauri, they're going to kill you. You know it. I know it. You're going to get like messy dead.
Yeah.
Like triumphantly, dramatically, theater dead. Like you're going to be killed in front of people. You know that, right? And he's like, if I didn't know better, I would think you were genuinely concerned. And I love this part, because Garibaldi has come to talk to Jakar as his friend. This isn't about...
There's no station business here.
This isn't about the diplomatic implications.
This
isn't about the moral,
their personal relationship.
The moral positive or negative of whether or not you fight back overtly or fight back covertly or whatever. Like, that's not what this is about. This is a man going to talk to his friend out of something he knows is a bad idea. Yep. And Jakar knows it. And in that moment, the way his face softens to like, oh my God, buddy, are you really worried about me? And the way that Andreas Katsoulas sells Jakar's, that moment of softening for Jakar, because Jakar's in his head about this, right?
Yeah.
He's going off to die, and he's going off to die, yes, to save the families of the people on the station, but he's well aware this could not save them. They could kill these people and their families
may not do
anyway.
Anything, but
he's got to shoot his shot.
The only thing, I guess, the worst case scenario, the positive outcome of this is that it just generating more outrage within the Narn society. Because look, our greatest like resistance hero went along with the demands of the collaborators.
And they killed him anyway.
Under the promise that we're not going to kill you, and if you cooperate, we will not hurt the family members of the Narn on Babylon 5.
Yeah.
And then they do it anyway. It's like, we've been kind of just biding our time under this provisional government run by the Centauri, and they've made some promises and followed through on them. But no, they're just fucking lying.
Yeah.
We can't even believe them about this stuff that's important. So why the fuck are we still going
collaborating
along with
in
it?
any way?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's deep in thought about, how do I spin this? How do I survive this? If I can't survive this, how do I make it work for my ultimate goals? And then his buddy shows up and he's like, dude, don't do this.
Yep.
And he looks at him the same way I look at our kids when they give me like life advice. And they're like, we went to the theme park and I was telling my son about the one ride that the last time I was there was like 2007 and it was brand new and the lines were too long for me to be able to ride it. And the lines are still really long. And so I guess I'm not going to ride it this time. And he was like, come on, we'll go get in line. And so we went in line and I was like, are we waiting in line for this because you want to ride it or because you think that I want to ride it and you want to make sure I get a chance to ride it? And he was like, it can be both. And he's looking at Garibaldi the same way I looked at our son in that moment, because it's like, oh, that's the cutest thing I've ever heard. Like, thank you so much. Because he's like, Jakar, too many people in my life have died. I don't want to add you to the list. So like, please don't do this. And Jakar's like, I hear you, but like, my fate is in the hands of Jaquan now. Like, whatever will happen, will happen.
Yep.
And I thank you for your concern. It's not changing how I feel, but it's changing how I feel about what I'm doing. It's not changing what I'm doing, but it's changing how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Because I had someone who loved me. And look who fought for Londo. No one.
Right.
And the one person who will fight for him, he's leaving. He's sending away. Because he doesn't like the way that Vera looks at him.
Right.
Because no one likes a mirror.
Right. The way that Veer looks at Londo only reminds Londo of how far he's fallen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so he'd just rather not have that reminder.
Yeah. And then Dr. Franklin yells at somebody, basically.
Yeah. Dr. Franklin has a crash out because he's been on stims for like 3 days straight.
Yep. And they're like, well, only one guy can answer that question, and he's on vacation. And he's like, then use his emergency code. Call him back from vacation and get the fucking answers before we all die. Okay? And everyone's looking at him like, oh my God, he's being so unreasonable right now. Oh my God, he's yelling. And yes, he's yelling. Yes, he's being emotive. But it doesn't feel like an overreaction, to be honest.
Right?
Because at this point, from his point of view, this evil alien probe is going to blow up all of Babylon 5 and everyone will die if they don't get this guy on vacation on the phone and have him answer a couple of questions. And he can't get this lady to do it. So to be honest, I would also go to DEF CON 1.
You'll be disbarred so fast, you'll leave skid marks as they throw you out of the EMA.
I would say that.
You would.
In fact, the other day, I told you that if you ever did to me what somebody else we know did to their wife, I would leave so fast you would find out whether it pops or puffs when you teleport. And you thought that was really funny. So that's basically word for word what he says here. I would very much say that. I would go to DEF CON 1. This is how I would react to this situation.
Right.
And I'm not on stims. I did have a kombucha earlier, but I don't think that counts.
No.
So I get it. And they're all like, oh my God, I wish they had manufactured a less believable moment for him to lose his shit. So that you're like, oh, he shouldn't be losing his shit right now.
Right, because here, he is kind of justified in...
Yeah.
Like, you are not taking it seriously that 250,000 people are on, like, under death threat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're not. And then we come back, and it is
Nafar talking to the Narn.
And he's having a conference? Wherever they have these conferences, which appear to just be crossroads of larger hallways, I guess. How do you get the message out? Did he take over the Jakar only station where Jakar reads? That's what it is. They give Jakar books and he just reads. And then he inserts propaganda into it. Of mice and men. He's just really hitting all of the
resistance vibes.
All Quiet on the Western Front.
Les Miserables.
Les Miserables. Yeah, he sings Les Miserables. Yeah. And so they just put a little thing in there that's like, hey guys, Nafar wants to meet at Junction 6 or whatever. Everybody come. He's like, Jakar has said the things you want to hear. He's focused your anger on blood and revenge and retaliation. It's not revenge and retaliation. This is
it's actively
rhetoric.
Throwing off your oppressor.
This is the definition of rhetoric, which is using words and language and the structure of words and language to convey more than you're actually saying. So he's calling it anger, blood, revenge, retaliation. It is not. It is resistance.
Right.
Jakar is not out for revenge. Jakar is out for freedom. Jakar is not out for retaliation. Jakar is out to resist.
Yep.
Jakar does not want blood. Jakar is actively trying to stop there from being blood.
Yep.
He's like, but the way that he phrases that takes what Jakar is actually having them do and frames it in a very negative light.
Right.
Rhetoric is one of the things that is very important to pay attention to. It's why I like words so much, because just changing one word, retaliation and resistance, completely changes the tone of what Jakar does.
Yep.
He's like, all these things will be ours, but at the proper time, in the proper way. Define proper. What do you mean by proper?
Fewer deaths.
Except he's not reducing the harm.
Right, but he's not. But it sounds like he is.
Right, because more often than not, collaboration doesn't work.
Right.
That's the argument against collaboration. Because
you never go to the second location.
Someone truly determined to harm you will harm you whether you collaborate or not.
Right.
So you might as well resist.
The only thing that collaborating does is make it safer for them.
Yeah. It reduces harm in the short term, but not in the long term.
Right.
Yeah. He goes, this is neither. It's not proper right now. Nothing's proper right now. As the newly established liaison between you and the provisional government, I can help you work within the system imposed upon us to rebuild Narn. Yeah, because that's how that works. That's how that always works.
Right.
Historically speaking. They are a young race, though.
Yeah. They're, I guess they're advanced, or I guess more modern society is much younger.
Yeah. To feed, clothe, and protect our people. So for what can be more important than their safety? And this is when his bodyguard is like, there is perhaps one thing. And then we go back to the I don't care.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Back to Jakar. Is there a problem?
I do want to mention, what the fuck are secure bots? The fuck is a secure bot?
Right?
Where did that come from? We have security robots just floating about the countryside and they never do anything.
I thought these were like construction bots.
But they call them secure bots. We have construction bots. We have things that go around and fix shit on the hull because we've used that to like find things on the hull before.
Yeah.
But we've never mentioned secure bots before.
Just don't worry about it.
Okay. You know what? I bet we're never going to mention them again either.
Probably.
Anyway, the probe. Oh, if we tell the probe we're smart, then the probe will make fun of us. So we'll tell the probe we're smart when the probe is far enough away that we can't hear it making fun of us. I don't know. That's fine. Who cares?
Anyway.
And then we come back.
Jakar's on his way out.
There is one. Hang on. The line where Ivanova goes, if I live through this job without completely losing my mind, it will be a miracle of biblical proportions. And tech number one.
Lieutenant Corwin.
I want to say Cortez, and I knew it was not Cortez. And then my brain just went, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, there goes my faith in the Almighty. But that's a good one. Yeah. Okay, so then we come back, and this is Jadok talking to Jakar, because Jakar has his like backpack on, and he's leaving. And they're like, yeah, you can't go. You're valued here, and you're needed here. And he's like, okay, well, thanks, but like, I gotta go. I gotta go. Didn't you hear? Your families are going to be hurt. I'm sorry, but I do what I must. I cannot let you leave, Jakar. You are valued and you are needed here. Mm-hmm. You strengthen our community and you make it possible for us to fight back. And if our families die, we know they would rather die in the cause of freedom than in the cause of collaboration.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I'm doing this for your own good. And they're like, this is the same I'm protecting you vibes that Londo did to Veer.
Yeah.
And they're like, thanks, but we don't want to be protected. Except he actually listens to them.
Right.
And he's like, okay, you've made an informed decision. Your families have made an informed decision. Okay. If I stay here, your families are in jeopardy. And he's like, is there anything more important than their safety? And they're like, yeah, their freedom. Yep. I wrote, thank you. Yes. It is better to die in the cause of freedom to live in comfort as a slave.
Yep.
We understand this.
And I think Jakar goes along, like, is convinced by them because his core motivation right now is to, as improbable as it sounds, there is a chance that he will reduce harm to these people's families, the people that he's responsible for.
Well, nothing says.
And when they say, no, we know what the stakes are, we're all in. Our families know what the stakes are, they're all in. You're not actually protecting us from anything.
Yeah.
Because we're all committed to the cause.
And they probably would hurt them anyway.
Right. And they'd hurt him anyway. And so Jakar's like, all right, like that's what convinced me to decide to go.
Yeah.
But if what you're saying is true, then there is no reason for me to go.
Yeah. And they go, we understand this and our families understand this because you taught it to us.
Yeah. But on Londo and Veer's side, Londo is in a more self-destructive mindset where he's only protecting things for the short term. He's protecting Veer from a disaster, from a consequence that he knows is coming.
He knows he is actually sending Veer to safety.
Yes.
There is no guarantee of safety for anyone, no matter what decision is made on Jakar's side.
Right.
So they could end up dying anyway, but now they're dying for nothing.
Yeah.
So they might as well die for something.
Yeah.
He's like, to leave now that I have decided to stay and join the others would be rude. That's what the bodyguard guy says. He was like, I'm leaving that dope. I'm coming to stay with you. And it'd be really rude if you dipped right now when I decided to stay. And then he pulls out his knife, and which is just a katana, which is apparently called a katak. So what are the odds that the exact same sword was developed in two?
Maybe it's the English name for it.
Maybe they bought a bunch and they were like, we now have a mythos surrounding the katak. Once it's drawn, it cannot be sheathed until it draws blood. Maybe that's how they sold it to him. They're like, you see this knife? It's pretty badass. You can't take it out unless you kill somebody with it before you put it back in. And they were like, oh my God,
blood.
that's so hot. I want can I get 100? And they're like, hell yeah, how about 1,000? I'll sell them to you.
They traded a bunch of old katanas for guns during the Minbari War.
That's what's in the pamphlet. That's the only reason they think that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, again, you would raise arms against your own kind if I taught you nothing? That's what Jakar says. And he goes, I carry a sword in my hand. You carry yours in your heart and in your mind. And as I see it, that gives you a 2-to-1 advantage in arms. Be fair, Citizen Jakar.
Oof.
Oh, God, that line is so good.
That line slaps.
Oh, there are more ways to fight.
Yes.
There are more ways than one to fight.
Yeah, I have a sword in my hand, but you have a sword in your heart and your mind, and that makes you way more formidable than me.
Yeah. And Jakar's like, cool.
And that means you are way more valuable to the resistance than me with one sword in my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can defeat the enemy in front of me. You can defeat the enemy for as far as your words will reach.
Yep.
So good. And then we come back to Sheridan and Garibaldi.
I have Frankie and Jakar.
Okay. Really? You have Frankie? We never get a break, do we? We went through that whole nonsense because some race wanted to yank our chain. It's Garibaldi, and I put S, which might be... it's Dr. Franklin.
Yeah, Dr. Franklin and I guess Garibaldi.
I'm sorry. Oh, my brain is tired. And when you said Garibaldi, I thought Jakar, and I was like, when did Dr. Franklin talk to Jakar? I don't remember that in this episode. That's fine, whatever. He's like, yeah, so I'm sorry, Dr. Franklin, Steve. I may have jumped the gun a little when we talked, and I really had no business getting in your face about the stems. You say you got it covered, so it's your call. You're an adult. You tell me if there's a problem. Thank you. And he goes, thank you. I do have it covered. I mean, I went through this whole thing and I didn't use it once. He totally did.
He totally did. Now he's lying about it.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
That's not great. He's like, I got about half a dozen sick patients and I never touched the stuff once. Okay, so where's the captain in Ivanova? Heroes of the hour. He's like, don't ask. And then we cut to them trying to settle the same thing that was happening at the beginning of the episode. And then Veer leaves and there's no dialogue for this scene. It's literally just him glaring at Londo, glaring daggers at Londo, and then leaving. Okay, so that's the end of the episode. We skipped the whole probe stuff, which shortened our episode considerably. Hey, if you skip a third of the plot, you're a third shorter. Well, I think the thing that makes this episode feel, the probe aside, no one cares about the probe. If you cared about the probe, I'm deeply sorry. Go watch the episode again and, I don't know, talk to the screen or something. So this is a very straightforward, the B plot and the D, whatever the extra plots are real straightforward.
Yeah.
Londo getting rid of Veer, Jakar realizing his importance as a leader, not just in the government, but a philosophical leader, a
cultural leader,
a cultural leader, as someone that is capable of fighting back, but not necessarily with violence.
Right, with idealism.
Yeah,
ideology.
Yeah, he's a oh my God. I can't think of the fucking word. I mean, he's Martin Luther King Jr. He's Malcolm X. He's all of the figures that we look back on and think, oh, okay, they were a rallying point for people. Because, I mean, humanity is, one of the things that I like to do is watch the trends in what people are saying, because it usually reveals some amount of, I don't want to call it programming, but like
subliminal messaging,
some manipulation, right? Yeah. And I would say that this is a conspiracy theory thing of mine, but you had that documentary about that guy who came up with like guerrilla marketing tactics. Mm-hmm. And he had the one where like the cigarette companies were upset because only men were smoking. And so he hired those women to walk in a parade and pull cigarettes out.
And they called them freedom sticks?
Torches or something. Freedom torches. And they were like cool, well-dressed women who pulled cigarettes out and started smoking as if it was an act of resistance. But they were actually hired by the cigarette companies. And sales of cigarettes for women went through the roof.
Yep. Same thing with women's razors and deodorant. And
there's... Usually it starts as some kind of like ha he cultural joke narrative thing. And then it spirals into a change in culture. Mm-hmm. And so the one that I see right now that I think is probably one of the most destructive ones that we need to really think about is that's too much peopling for me today. I like my cats in like two people. Or it's too people-y outside for me right now.
So then it becomes trendy to isolate yourself?
It becomes super trendy to avoid...
And be proud of how much you isolate yourself.
Of how isolated you are, correct. Yeah. You create a culture of like, it's cringe to be super social.
It used to be like self-sufficiency. Like, I don't need anybody to... help me. I can do everything myself.
But even that is a form of destructive programming.
Yes,
okay, go ahead.
That's level 1.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably like level 500,000.
Yeah.
But we have that level of the cultural programming is you need to be self-sufficient. And, so we're breaking up community, but it's like a positive, like an aspirational thing.
Yeah.
Like, you got this. You are capable of building your own life.
Yeah.
You don't need anybody to give you anything. You can take care of everything you need.
Yeah.
All by yourself.
And the people that don't are not trying hard enough.
And you can still have friends. It's all good. But now it's more like I need to withdraw.
Yeah.
To protect myself. Rather than I'm withdrawing from community a little bit from an aspirational self-sufficiency framework. But now it's I'm exhausted and overwhelmed. I don't have bandwidth to interact with people.
Right.
So I'm protecting myself. I'm reserving my small amount of, capacity for doing things by withdrawing even further from community. So but you still have the aspirational self-sufficiency side, but now you have the negative aspect of other people are actually a drain on your resources.
Right. And it's also the reliance on frictionless convenience.
Yes. And
ordering in
convenience
food. Yes.
is, or I guess inconvenience is one of the costs of community.
Community is inherently inconvenient.
Community adds friction, but
only in that
you get repaid in dividends.
Yes.
In the benefits of community.
Correct. Yeah. So this is our treatise on the importance, because that's what, I mean, it relates back to the episode. We're not out of the blue here. That is the entire purpose of that whole scene with Jakar, is there is a cost to keeping Jakar with them.
Yeah.
But it is far outweighed by the benefits of keeping Jakar safe.
Right.
And so they would rather have him there in their community in a way that is inherently inconvenient. Feels like a too soft a term for it, because their families might die.
Right.
But that him being the head of that community is so important that they will do what it takes.
Keeps the flame alive.
Yeah. They will do whatever it takes to keep him alive.
Yeah.
The other one that I see, so it's too people-y. There's, you need to be able to do it yourself.
Yep.
You shouldn't be asking anyone for help. And the type of people that ask for help are just takers. And the other one is talking to anybody about your problems is burdening them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a huge trend right now where, like, if you have kids come over to your house, you can bill the parent for the food that they eat while they're there.
No.
So the entire purpose of all of this is to undermine
community.
The exact thing that is required to get through it, which is you having a group of friends and a community that you can rely on, because we were never intended to do it alone. And that's why we all feel overwhelmed. That's why everybody is on some kind of...
Because we're all trying to do it alone.
Well, no one's raw dogging reality anymore, because you can't. You literally can't. We cognitively cannot handle every single task required to live our lives all alone.
Right.
You need the farmer to feed you. You need the group of parents that can, field the herd of kids that roam around the neighborhood and keep them safe and keep them fed. And that way you get a break while your kids are at somebody else's house, and they get a break while your kids are at their house, and everybody collaborating. A rising tide lifts all boats. Mm-hmm. So I think, another one that we encounter fairly often, just as a good example of one that I can tell you is intentional programming, is every time we move, I hear the same exact statement from so many people, which is, it's going to be the same no matter where you go. It doesn't matter if you could stay here.
Right. There's no point in you leaving.
There's no point in leaving. It's going to be the same. People are going to be the same there. It's like, okay, well, I don't really care. Like, I'm not moving because I want people to be different. That's just silliness.
Right.
I just don't want to be, I want to do something new. I want to try something new, but they need you. So the best way to think of this is the earth is a resort for like 25 people.
And the rest of us are just staff.
And the rest of us are staff. Yeah. And so what do? You have to keep the staff working for practically nothing so that the resort remains profitable for the people at the top.
Yep.
And to do that, you have to make sure that they never realize that there's only like 25 people keeping them as staff.
Right.
Anyway, I don't know. I feel like there was no way to not talk politics in this particular episode.
We're not talking politics. We're talking society.
Yeah, societal. I don't know. Just pay attention. Just keep an eye. Remember, it's like that meme where there was the meme with Pikachu, like Pikachu with his mouth open, that spread all over the internet, went super viral. Everyone was using it. And then they announced the Pikachu movie, the Detective Pikachu movie. And I like to see what memes of
stealth marketing.
What memes of old television shows start popping up, because I'm like, oh, a reboot's coming, or a reunion is coming, or whatever.
And I've noticed there's been a bunch more Zelda stuff.
Oh yeah, because the Zelda movie's coming. So and the Zelda reboot is coming, and they're doing so. They definitely, there are overt ads, and then are.
I was just watching a piece about. There's a niche meme community.
Okay.
And
Words I did not know went together.
it's kind of an organic, it's not a single community, but
Okay.
it's an organically developed group that they're the ones who these are the iterations of online communities that like pioneer the new memes. They're doing a lot of, I don't know, like deep work in developing new styles of
Okay.
of memes.
All right. So they're on the frontier of meme creation.
Right. And these are like subversive creatives. And they just want to do their own thing.
Yeah.
Practice their craft. And as they hit on a new thing, more people get into the niche community until now it's overrun with the people who are just reusing what they've created. And then that bleeds into mainstream. And then so once the mainstream starts using, it's like, man, I came up with this thing. I made this with my hands like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And now some like Nesquik is using it in their commercials.
Yeah.
And so they disband the whole community and then it will organically redevelop like somewhere else. And so I think it might have been Hank Green talking about it. It was like a 20-minute video essay thing. And so he was talking about how there are these like organically emergent communities that of like subversive creative people who pioneer the new styles of cultural expression, like in a real kind of like art way.
Yeah.
But inevitably those communities get filled up with the people who are just using it. And then once their community gets saturated, they're like, God, I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
Bye. And so then they leave. And then it takes a while for the internet culture to catch up with what are they doing next. But it's, the mainstream marketing people are always trying to get into those niche meme communities as early as possible and see, oh, this one hits. Like they're onto something here. We need to integrate this new thing as soon as possible so that we can get as much attention on it before it becomes
so we can
old.
steal it, repackage it, and sell it back to them.
Yeah.
Like how we all spent 30 years making the internet a super fucking cool place to be, and then they strip mined it for resources, repackage them, and now they're selling it back to us as generative AI.
Yeah.
Like that. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember all the hours I spent writing fan fiction? Hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it because it's really hard as someone who focused their entire lives on creativity.
Mm-hmm.
I have an art degree. I'm almost compelled to do things, to create things. Someone was talking to me at work and they were like, you probably don't watch any of the new TV shows, do you? You don't seem like the kind of person that watches a lot of TV. And I was like, I mean, fair. I do very strategically plan my television because more often than not, I'm scheming about the countryside.
Yeah.
As Matt will say. It's like, oh no, you had too much time to scheme. He says there's a special kind of silence when I'm in the other room scheming.
and then you walk in a certain kind of way and sit down on the bed and give me a certain kind of look. And it's like, oh, brace yourself. It's
Here it comes. So I have spent my life focused on developing that encouraging the growth of that in myself.
Yeah.
Of creativity and of creating new things and of finding cool stuff and sharing cool stuff and, like uplifting things that I think are neat.
Mm-hmm.
And then and then I had the joy of living during the age of AI where that becomes a commodity, where that is now
a commodity that you are not even
I no longer
compensated
control.
Yeah.
Everything that I create is now something someone else will steal and attempt to sell back to me.
Yeah.
So it's very hard when all I can think of is how now every act of creativity becomes a bullet in someone else's gun.
Yeah.
And that's why we had to take such a long break. I mean, there's a large more than that, but like that's very psychologically draining for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would love to share all the cool shit that we do, because we do a lot of really cool shit. We don't just do the podcast.
I had a work meeting today. Okay, so we just did a little reorganization for the infrastructure teams at work, and so this was the first meeting I had with what will be my new team.
Yeah,
and it's like 3 people from my old team, and then like a few more people that got merged in, and then there's some other people in Japan that I'll be meeting with later. But anyway, he was like, okay, one of the guys started, a couple people introduced themselves, and then the third person was like, oh, and 3 fun facts about myself. And so then a couple people later, it got to me, and they're like, okay, Matt, and 3 fun facts. I was like, oh, and one of the guys who had been in a meeting, he was like, oh, well, like, I know you like roller coasters, because we were talking about that, because he was like, oh, you're in Michigan. I grew up in Ohio. You ever been to Cedar Point? And I was like, oh, it's just there. And I was like, my wife and I did roller coaster parks down the East Coast for our honeymoon. And he's like, that's really cool. And so then we were at this meeting, and 3 fun facts. And he was like, well, I know you like roller coasters. That could be. I was like, oh, yeah, okay, sure. And I was like, what do I pick from? Let me think.
You're like, no, you don't understand. It's not that I'm at a loss for 3. It's that I'm trying to pick out the best 3.
Yes, I'm spoiled for choice. And so I have previously come up with lists because the kids used to like to play 2 Truths and a Lie.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I used to work at NASA. Like, what do I pick? Where do I go from there? I was the first person in my family to get a 4-year degree and a master's degree too.
Yeah.
Like, I can go.
My wife compulsively buys 90s shit boxes.
I have a fleet of vehicles.
All of which are terrible.
I said my wife and our kids last year moved into a defunct motel in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Correct.
That was one of my 3 fun facts.
Yes. I own a vehicle with the steering wheel on the wrong side.
We do a lot of interesting stuff.
Yeah, and I would love to be like the kind of, not that I want to monetize it, but like, I don't know, I do fun. I have a lot of camping hacks that I think are pretty neat. Every time I tell people about them, they're like, wow, that's really well thought out. Like, thank you. I've spent a very long time refining several very good labor-saving ways for me to enjoy going out with the family so that I'm not stuck cooking and cleaning and, whatever, all that stupid trad wife bullshit while we're out doing stuff. And I would love to be like, hey guys, did you know that a catering steamer container fits perfectly in a Yeti roadie and you can freeze it ahead of time and it fits 3, which is a weekend's worth of food? Like, I don't know. But then I think I'm just feeding myself to the monster with 1,000 voices.
Yeah.
And then I'll just be another voice in the monster.
Which, if you haven't heard of the monster with 1,000 voices,
I don't know. Look it up.
Look it up. Look it up. I think it's a Tumblr thing.
Yeah. And I don't know. I'm going to get through it because we have to get through it because this is the world we live in now. And we have to find a way to be people in it.
And we're the people who have always figured it out before.
Yeah. I have every confidence in myself and my ability to figure this shit out.
It's like Frodo knowing that he has to carry the ring.
Yeah.
To Mordor. Like, I don't want to do it. And I know I can, but I don't want to do it.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, we're here. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep doing this ourselves. We do work Riverside, the program that we use for recording remotely.
I was just watching a stream today, and they use Riverside, and like the first 20 minutes, they were like, "God, I don't know. I can't set the audio levels because Riverside has this new AI powered like automatic gain adjustment.
Live streaming is now the default. And no matter how many times you turn it off, you have to turn it off every single time. Otherwise, it will at least live stream it to the Riverside website. But what they also do is offer you the option to upload a transcript and it will read it in your voice.
Right.
So that you don't have to record your own podcast anymore.
I'd
literally rather die.
I found a self-hosted
okay, but that's
live video conferencing
podcasting infrastructure aside. And then the weird tangent that we're having at the end of this. I don't know. I just think we have worked so hard to deliberately spend time together. Yeah. That is what this podcast is about. I love that you were all here. I love that you were listening to us talk. But the entire purpose of this fucking podcast was so that Matt and I would sit and have conversations that were not about work and not about the kids.
Yeah.
And thank God we did. Because I am so grateful for all the time that we have spent together and spent talking with each other. And I think about, I have like 2 recordings of my dad's voice. Mm-hmm. And our kids are going to be so sick of listening to us because they'll have an infinite amount to choose from.
Yeah.
And we're not going to stop anytime soon. And we may go through rough patches where we're like right now, we're really struggling to stay on target.
Yeah.
And it's because I started working. It's the summer. A lot is happening. We're getting ready to go back to Toronto. I'm so excited.
Remodeling the kids' rooms while they're with grandma.
I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And it's because we're busy people, but we're here and we're not going anywhere. And we're going to try to restart Lex. I promised it and we're going to do it. And it's probably going to be next weekend. So, all right. All that being said, if you stuck with us this long, thank you so much. This has been the Philosophy Corner with Rachel and Matthew. I just want to say it's really hard to be someone with really good pattern recognition in the year of our Lord 2026. So I think that's probably a good place to leave it. We would live for the one.
We would die for the one.
Until next time, friends.
Bye.